Okay, here's a quick look at the E-mini S&P for Friday, August the 6th, 2010. Yesterday when we left the market, we still had the bullish bias with the expectation as long as the news was neutral or bullish, the market would rally. Well, obviously the news was not. The numbers themselves were much lower than expected, so not good news, and as a result the market sold off. So that area that we were looking at around 17 for the next support up, you can see here in the overnight session it just burst right through there. So it went down and hit onto two other major areas that we were looking at, which is around 110 and around 104. And it initially did not get quite down to 04, and then actually opened here in the regular trading hours and then had a good rally higher. By the way, these are the market profiles. This is what occurred regular trading hours today, and this was the overnight session. So you can see how it was, just hovering sideways here for pretty well the entire session until the news was released at 8:30 Eastern. And obviously that's where it had this big down move. So it went in there, opened here, and had a pretty nice bounce. Actually came back above 17, but then pierced back through it and then tested these next two support areas. This support area here was our major support as far as shifting our intraday bias to down. So it did not hold through there, and as you can see, the market turned around and had a very nice rally to finish the day, almost reaching up towards the high. By the way, these are the regular hours only trading. So here's where the market opened today in the regular trading hours. It first went up here and made that high, came down here and made the low, and then up by closing right up near the high here. So that kind of movement we believe is very bullish and portends for what could be a very explosive move Sunday evening, as early as Sunday evening, and going into next week. Obviously, it remains to see how it does, if and when it does get up to around 29 or 30. But we do think that the market's action today is actually very bullish on the day-to-day or intraday basis. Well, you can see our arrows here. We had a buy here, a couple of sells here, three more sells here, and a long here. And we were filled on this first long. It only hit our first objective, so that was a bit surprising because that trade type is usually pretty strong. So it was kind of heads up that maybe it was exhausting itself up at that level. These two trades here, this one wasn't actually filled till much later in the day. Turned out to be a break-even trade. The second let's see, this was our next trade of the day right here. This is actually number 2. This trade was not taken because we were already short. So this was a nice entry right in here, and the market dropped right away. So that turned out to be a really nice trade. Then the market bounced up, and you can see it hit this dashed red line. So that turned out to be our third trade of the day. And you can see it hit right in here and then dropped off. I think it was a point and 3/4. Then it kind of went sideways. Then we had this long trade here that we were filled right here. It immediately hit our first objective, so we filled on that and then came back here and got stopped at a break even. That turned out to be the fourth trade, and then this one over here was the fifth. This was much later in the day off of this much earlier signal. We did get filled up here, and it quickly moved against. The market was getting really starting to rock and roll the upside here. We're filled on the short time, immediately hit our first objective, so I ended up with a break even on that trade. So we ended up with 5 trades today. But when the market did get down into that 4 area, we were really looking for possible support if it could kind of settle down there. The next opportunity was at 10. Of course, when it hit here initially, it didn't quite make it to 10, and by the time it started to sell off, it was selling off pretty hard. So we obviously wanted to see, if it could kind of settle down before buying, obviously. So it didn't do that in this 10 area, but it did do it down here in the 4 area where it gave us this long trade. So a lot of, by the way, this trade only moved against us 5 ticks. Our entry here only moved against us 5 ticks. Our entry was actually right at 1107, and the lowest it got here, as you can see, was at 575. So only moved 5 ticks against us. So some of our traders, knowing these support areas and resistance areas, and combining that with our view of the intraday auction, we're really able to take advantage of this last trade and hold it, because it was a very important trade type, one that we expect to get quite a lot out of, and it was in concert with our intraday bias after the market had failed to penetrate through and hold below that support barrier. So it was from a more of a longer time frame day trade, possibly even a swing trade, was really a trade worth holding. So at any rate, those are our trades for today, and like I said, we're looking for. I mean, if it can drop down to in around that 12 area, that would be nice support Sunday evening or Monday. But it does really look like it wants to try and give the market another good shot here after what I consider to be a reaction off of the news. So that'll be it for today. Whoops. Any questions or comments? Of course, just send them to info@eminidaytrader.com. eminidaytrader.com. That's our name right down here, eminidaytrader.com. So info@eminidaytrader. I always enjoy hearing your questions and comments. So have a great weekend. That'll be it for today, and we'll see you again on Monday.